What's up, Cardfighters? Clark here from Vanguard Central, coming at you with a Brawler Deck Profile. So starting off with our starter, we have Lizard Soldier Saishin, probably the best starter in Narukami. I mean, a lot of people forget what he does, but when he boosts, he does pop a grade 0 or less. Well, there's nothing less than a grade 0, but pop starters, super good. Everyone forgets about him. And he's kind of like that early pressure. Our grade 1s. 3 Tempest Bolt, self-explanatory, you want to stride a little bit in this deck. 4 Unflippy Perfect Guards, and then 2 Wandering Brawler Tyrant, who's a 9k grade 1 when he attacks a Vanguard. And I'll explain like the reason why he's in the deck, and also 4 of the 10k Brawler Wild Clock Dragon. So the reason we run Wild Clock and Tyrant in the deck is to apply like super early game pressure, and to also have attackers that can hit for higher numbers later in the game when Vanguard attacks first. You know, when you have Conquest and like say this was a Rising Phoenix instead, Rising Phoenix would be a 15k, and say you don't get triggers, it's only a 5k guard, whereas he's a 10k before triggers, which is like super good. And like obviously everything in G-Break is decided before around grade 2, grade 1, and the plays you make there. So that's what we wanted to focus on. And we have 3 Chatura, who becomes 11k, can only attack the Vanguard, and you counterblast 1. You draw a card and you bind 1 from their drop zone. 3 of the Legion Mate, for Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, who gains +3 for every brawler that hits. So it could be any brawler, even at grade 2, it'll become a 12k attacker. And then 3 of Brawler Big Bang / Buster, the Legion Mate for Big Bang Knuckle Buster. And he basically gains +5 if your Vanguard hits another unit. Well, yeah, so +2 for his own ability, and then plus another 3, so +5 generally. And like you're always gonna hit stuff in this deck, I mean other units in this deck, because of the stride, because of the Legion, and like how like control savvy this deck is. And then an MVP of the deck is Brawler Skyhowl Dragon, who is counterblast 1 and retire a unit in the front row. Sets up Conquest Dragon super easily and makes plays that like take out super pesky rear guards in other decks, like a Sword Me, you know, or like a Twin Sword, super like cancerous cards like that. And then onto the grade 3s, we have 4 Brawler Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. He only hits the front row, and you don't get the cross ride with this card, and you need a counterblast too, so you typically don't really want to ride him, but if worst comes to worst, I mean, he's not a bad option as well, because he sets up the cross ride later on easily when you do end up riding your main boss, and that's a Big Bang Knuckle Buster, who hits the entire field basically, and he gets +2, so Cross Legion, first Cross Legion of the generation. Super good card, SP. And I mean, like typically you'd want to stride and then Legion, or you know, do either one first to add more pressure with your stride plays. Onto the strides. To give us more options, we went with 1 Zorus, 1 Atmos for later pushes in the game, 2 Turbos, because if you already have a Legion that does what Turbo does, you don't need an excess amount of Turbos in the deck, reasonably, because they're both going to hit for the same number, unboosted, and they're going to hit multiple units at one time. So you're not essentially losing anything by striding or legioning in this deck. And then MVP of the deck, Conquest Dragon, makes your life so much easier. Free retires, +10k to the entire front row if they don't have a front row. And comboing that with Skyhowl just makes it like super easy. The deck doesn't really counterblast a lot as long as you play correctly and smart. So Yeah, super underrated deck. Onto triggers. 4 heal, 5 draw, and 7 crit. Personally, I like the crits a lot in this deck just because you can put them on your rear guards in case they PG the Vanguard and then hit for even higher numbers, or just add way more pressure than having like a little more draw. And yeah, we don't run Rising Phoenix in the deck just because it's like you're gonna draw enough anyways with the 5 triggers. With the 5 draw triggers and with like all the striding, and in a sense you're plussing by minusing your opponent's field. So that's our philosophy behind this Brawler deck, and we know it's gonna be a top deck pretty soon with BT5 coming out in January. So if you're ready to throw some punches and brawl some people, you guys should pick this up. Alright, if you guys liked our deck profile, thumbs up, of course. We always like those, we appreciate them. If you have any questions about the deck, put it down in below, or email us at our Gmail. It's going to be in the description. But anyways, any more input, just let us know. Alright, Vanguard Central out.